From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, federal government replies Governor Murtala Nyako on the killings in the northeast, says comments are inciting and irresponsible. President Jonathan moves national security meeting with 36 states, governors and service chiefs to tomorrow. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka others condemn extremism in the country as intellectuals converge on Port Harcourt for the World Book Capital 2014. And Russia threatens attack if its interests in Ukraine are violated.
On Business News tonight, International Monetary Fund recommends adjustment of the Naira, citing increased pressure on the currency.
And on sports news tonight, preparations for the 2014 FIFA World Cup get a massive boost as the World Football Governing Body gives the Curitiba Stadium a pass mark.
I'm Linda Kibe, and from Abuja, resource control and true federalism top discussions at committee level at a national conference.
The war of words between the presidency and the governor of Adamawa State, Murtala Nyako, is far from over, as the federal government today describes as irresponsible the opinion the governor holds regarding the rising level of insurgency in the northeast. The Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mako, told journalists today that the governor, who was a former chief of naval staff, should know better. According to Mr. Mako, the war against terrorism should be fought on a united front, and he warned Nigerians to desist from making statements that could tear the country apart.
If only Nigerians maybe understand and appreciate that as we sit in this hall, our soldiers, our security people are out there in the bush, sleeping in the bush day and night, and getting killed sometimes in the course of maintaining security for this country. These days, what we see is that almost every person, who has little knowledge about how security services are rendered, will just open their mouth, and make statements that create panic in the country. And this is really very, very unfortunate. To hear the kind of thing being said by the governor of Adamawa State, at this period. And Nyako is a former chief of naval staff. He's a soldier that has wore uniform before. For him to publicly incite the public against the security forces of this country is the height of irresponsibility. And I believe that for someone like that, who is old enough to appreciate the kind of plight that this country is going through, we expect that there should be greater understanding. Politics aside, when people reach a certain age, it should temper, their utterances, the kind of thing that they're supposed to say. Maybe younger people like you and me may say certain things, we say, okay, maybe it's lack of experience. But for people that have known the difficulty this country is going through and the kind of effort that's being done by the federal government, to be coming out to make those statements that divide the country, even at a point we need national unity and national healing, is grossly irresponsible.
Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mako. And while one politician is receiving stinging comments for his view, that of the former President, General Muhammadu Buhari, is being greeted with much praise. Following an article published in the media over the past few days, the President, Goodluck Jonathan, commended General Buhari for what he described as his very statesman-like views on terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria. Specifically, President Jonathan welcomed General Buhari's view that, quote, a minority must never be allowed to bring the nation to its knees through terror, end of quote. This commendation is coming at a time when many have accused public officials of making unguarded statements about the unity of the country in the face of terror attacks. In the meantime, the security meeting between President Goodluck Jonathan and the 36 states' governors has been postponed to tomorrow, April the 24th. A statement from the presidency says the meeting was moved because of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. The 36 state governors were called by the president to work out a possible solution to the current security challenges in the Northeast. This expanded meeting is coming after President Goodluck Jonathan's session with PDP governors last Thursday on the same subject. Tomorrow's agenda is likely to review the ongoing national security measures and operations to determine the best way forward. Now, staying with security matters, 17 suspected Boko Haram members said to be operating under the guise of herdsmen around Buhari village in Taraba state have been rounded up by the military. Explaining the arrest, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukalade, said the suspects were sighted in the course of their air surveillance and later trailed to their camp, where they engaged the troop in a battle. The men, according to the military, have confessed, saying they are members of the terrorist group fighting in Borno State. In the meantime, the curfew imposed in Wukari and its environs is expected to be relaxed as soon as normalcy returns. Now, there's also a health angle, as the children that were born in the Northeast may now be more at risk of contracting the wild polio virus. The Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Ado Mohammed, told officials at an expert review committee meeting in Abuja today that the security challenge is preventing the immunization of children in the Northeast, where Boko Haram have launched several attacks, killing hundreds of people. With this development, the agency says some 200,000 children could be at risk of contracting polio. Well, Nigeria's ability to excel against its global competitors is an indication of the great potential that lies within the country. Now, this was further asserted today as Port Harcourt, the River State capital, was formally recognized as the World Book Capital City 2014, albeit it beat 10 other countries to win. However, the nation's security situation was also brought to the fore, with speakers calling for an end to the crisis. Our correspondent Oreolu Ashonibare reports.
Books are powerful and transformational, and it is no exaggeration to say that books save from a life of poverty, stress, depression, and isolation. With the declaration of Port Harcourt, the capital of River State, as the UNESCO World Book Capital City for 2014, the power the book wields has fallen on the nation.
The designation of Port Harcourt as UNESCO Book Capital 2014 is a major achievement that establishes this city as a center of enlightenment and scholarship, and one which, going forward, we can all build upon to reinforce the reading culture and improve the value of written information to the development of the thought process of humanity.
And this gathering, a combination of brilliant minds in the book world and enthusiasts, are here to celebrate Port Harcourt's victory.
What makes the selection of Port Harcourt even more momentous is the fact that the city vied for this honor against many better-known cities, such as Oxford, Lyon, Moscow, and Incheon. But Harcourt has therefore brought a great pride to Nigeria, and for this we are most grateful.
But beyond the joy of the day is the call of sober reflection to issues of insecurity threatening the development of education.
It is particularly offensive that girls were taken away, especially considering that getting the girls into school in the first place is often a difficult project. So today, we call together, bring back all our daughters.
In such circumstances, what side do we take? When children are slaughtered in their school dormitories, their teachers and parents hunted down for daring to disobey the Philistinic fatwa that forbids learning? Do we remain in our barracks? For it has not just begun, you know. We're speaking of the prosecution of war that 4 years ago already had moved to its present blatant intensity.
People, instead of going to school, are withdrawing from school. And the reason why they are not going to school is that there is no motivation to go to school. And for me, I have said over and over that the solution to Boko Haram does not rest in the military. It rests in education and agriculture. I would have said poverty eradication, but you can never eradicate poverty. Why did I say agriculture? If we start farming in the vast of land in the north, all those recruits for Boko Haram will find alternative to Boko Haram and will begin to work.
Even this performance is a reminder of Nigeria's circumstance, showing how the book can be used as a tool towards achieving peace. The book is indeed a powerful binding tool. And until the baton is passed to the next host in 2015, Port Harcourt is writing new chapters in his history. Orolu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
Now, as the police stop and search operations resume at the entry point of Lagos and Ogun State, owing to the Boko Haram incursions, the police have given assurances that the action is a preventive measure. Explaining the decision to carry out the operation, the Commissioner of Police, Umar Manko, told journalists that everyone will need to work together to keep Lagos safe.
We drafted some of our people to our boundary to ensure that safety is provided for. Right now, we still maintain positions. Lagosians should go about their businesses without any fear of being attacked by any Boko Haram or anything. There is no threat to any peace in Lagos. We'll continue to do the best we can to ensure that Lagosians have peace.
In part 2, after the break, Nigeria's power generation hits 4,105 megawatts. That's in a moment. Please join us again.